Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. How are you? I wanted to chime in on this vibration, and I wanted you to share a very epic moment in time with me and talk about something that is rarely talked about right now. But yet, it's one of the most important things that should be talked about right now. And that is the calling of our children. And I just want to share with you my art piece, of course, playing around. But why am I painting, you may ask? Because in order for us to understand the process of ascension, then you must understand, overstand, understand the importance of your own children. So many people want to go into union with their twins, but yet, even in wanting to go into union with your twins, there's been this massive neglect of the children in your homes that are the main reasons for union in the first place. What's the point of one coming together in union, in harmony, in affection, in desire, just to stare at your twin? Or is there this ebb and flow of life that is the opposite flow of energies, that is a clue to life's ebb and flow? And that ultimate clue is your children. That ultimate clue is for you to balance and harmonize your relationship with your children. And if you're failing to balance and harmonize your relationship with your children, why are you even asking to go into union with anyone else? Until you perfect the energies of your child, your children in your homes, there will be no union for you. I know so many of you who have had experiences and are having experiences where the planets are going through a major planetary alignment, a major planetary shift. And within this major planetary shift that we are having, there's a lot of energies that have come up from within you that are dealing with irritability. And of course, who better to teach you about your own energies than your children? So here we are in this space of the clue of life's ebb and flow, right there in front of your face, where you're calling your ancestors, your guides, your angels, and you're asking them, help me with my union, help me find a man, help me find a woman. But you're ignoring and you're neglecting your children. Now, for those of you who don't have children, this still applies to you. And I know you may ask, how does this still apply to me, Nubian? Is because if you don't have any children at all, the times are prompting you to pay attention to your own inner child. And as you pay attention to your own inner child, then you will understand the worth and the wealth of the banquets of the energies that lie within you for you to be in harmonic balance with the times. Now, the only way that you can come into harmonic balance with the time is if you balance everything that's around you. A virtuous woman knows the times, and a high priestess knows the times. She knows the importance of not only balancing herself, but getting her household in order. And getting her household in order to make room and to make way for her to come into a merging with her divine counterpart, there must be a balance within herself. And the balance within herself consists of her making sure that any children that she has had prior to union, that she is in harmonic balance with the children. So here we are in these times in the here and now, where so many people are looking down on women that have multiple children, failing to realize that a woman with multiple children is highly, highly, highly special, highly protected, highly guarded by the angels and sacred beings in high places. Also, a woman that is bearing a child, that is pregnant with the child, she is also very protected and very sacred to the universe. Also, a woman that has children, whether she has children with her divine counterpart or has children outside of that union, those specific children are only affected according to the environment of the mother. Now, why is this so important? Because the mother is the ultimate teacher of that child before the age of 9 years old. Now, there are specific children that the mother will have in her bloodline before she comes to a specific point of awakening, where there will be children that will have the mark and there will be children that won't have the mark. What do I mean by the mark? The mark meaning you can tell upon the lives of that child which child is going to rebel, which child is going to have certain specific gifts and specific talents. Now, what is so profound about this knowing is that we are literally living in the times right now where children are the ultimate diamonds in the rough. They are the ones where, if you're paying very close attention, you'll realize that the children are called. They're the ones that are called. They're the reasons that every single one of us that is living in this plane of existence should be realizing that the children are the ones that are putting everyone in place. How is that? Because there is judgment all over the land. And this specific judgment that's transpiring all over the land is actually happening right there in the midst of your households. So if you have children and you have yelled at them, you have cussed at them, you have mistreated them, you're beating them, you're throwing them across the room, you're doing whatever to that child that you do not want done to you, you are the one that is being judged. How are you being judged? You're being judged based off of the energies and based off of the treatment that you are giving their child. So here it is. The number 666 is 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. There is nothing evil about the number 666. Let's clear that up first and foremost, okay? So let's also talk about the fact that the number 666 is only talking about the year of the beast. What is the beast? The beast is, what do you have in your phones, in your pockets, those gadgets, those computers that you're running around with? That is the matrix. That is a code. That is a beast. That's all it is. So here it is. You are in this place where you should be literally walking into this space of promotion. How do you get to that space of promotion? The space of promotion is by you acknowledging the fact that your children have been called here to give you a clear vision, a clear perspective of the times in which we are living. And that is the upright position which everyone is walking into in this hour, because this is the hour of rebirth. There is nothing on this plane of existence that you should be doing whatsoever that is not coupled with the future of the consciousness of your growth of your children, whether it is your inner child, which we're now talking about all of us, or whether it is your children in your home. Now, what do I mean by that? So here it is, all over the world. Everyone is struggling. They're trying to pay bills. They're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. They're living from the left brain or their right brain, but no one is operating in their full brain unless they are in ultimate union with their twin, and those two walk together operating in their whole holistic brain. Now, how does this apply to your children? Because back in the day, there was no such thing as mom or dad, anyone by the last name of Davis going to work on the Ford farm, or Ford going to work on the Davis farm, or Brown going to work on the Williams farm, without first being in a space of knowing every single thing that consisted of your duties on your own farm. In other words, these are true templates, true placements of what today's day and age calls the trust and the estate. You are the walking trust in the estate. Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution states what? That everyone has the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Also, it also states that in each constitution of your specific state that you reside in, which is usually Article X, states that you are to literally be in a place where, I'm just giving you a breakdown of this metaphor, you are literally to be in a place where no one is to basically stop you from your estate. Look it up. You'll see it. It's talking about the estate. The estate is what? That's you. But how can you know that that estate is you if you're merely too busy being mean to yourself, your inner child? You're not taking that time out to pay attention to your children that are in your home. Because truth be told, what are you doing all that work for if you're not building a dynasty for your children? So many of you are missing the mark. You're failing to get it. Because truth be told, the children are the true reason that you should be truthfully working and building a trust, building an estate, building your farm, building your bloodline, building that backbone for you to have a position of rebirth. So here it is, there's a stagnation all over the land. Why? Because there's a conflict of quest, a conflict of success that needs to have an undoing in the now. So here it is, so many people are hurt, harming, and injuring children all over the land in so many different ways because many are failing to understand that the children are the ones that are actually running things. And it depends on the parent. Even if, for example, have you ever seen a child in the grocery store and the child is just completely screaming and screaming and crying and screaming and screaming? Anytime you see that, do note, do keep in mind that that is pure key, pure factor that that parent has made television the ultimate babysitter of that child. That child is screaming out for help because that child has been programmed with binary beats, tones, and frequencies that are altering their state of mind almost as if it's a drug addiction. The second a child is screaming and crying in a store, and if you're a parent and you're under the sound of my voice, your child is completely screaming and you cannot control your child from stopping their scream, all you have to do is turn on your phones. Everyone has one in their pocket. Turn on a cartoon and hand it to that child. You will notice the child will immediately stop crying. Why? Because you have your child hooked on cartoons like you have a child hooked on heroin or crack cocaine. It is equivalent to the same endorphins that is a drug, which means now what do? That means you have to replace that energy that has stolen your child's energetic field, your child's mindset. Now you have to replace that with your love. Your child has been neglected by you. Your child has been in a place where your child is crying and screaming out for help. And guess what? Because you're the parent, you're that child's rehab. So we're in a time right now. Here, babe. Hold this. We're in a time right now where there is a great calling that is happening all over the land. And this great calling is for literally for the children to be able to step into their callings without the parental interference. There was a time where many parents would teach their children to walk and talk between the ages of 0 and 2 years old. And when they got to the age of 2 years old, they would tell them to sit down, go somewhere, shut up, be quiet. What is happening in the land is we're in a place right now where so many parents are handicapping their children because the children run the parents. If your child runs you, then you should be very, very, very questionable of even your own neglect as a parent. The reason that your child is running you is because you have not developed a solid foundational relationship with your child. It is time for you to sit back in a stance and observe the times, observe the day, even if you have to. Call in from work, spend the day with that child, because instead of you walking on the beach with your child, going to the park with your child, having a picnic with your child, instead of you doing that, you have handed your children gadgets and games and phones and $300 tennis shoes and $600 phones, anything to get them out your face so that way they wouldn't have to spend time with you. You are guilty of this judgment, which is very profound. I pulled some cards here for us to give you a message from your children, to give you a message as to what is happening with the children in these day and times. Many people are not doing tarot card readings on children. You won't find it anywhere on the internet but here at Nubian News. And the reason that is because no one can do an astronomy, astrological, Temple of Dandara, metaphysical breakdown on that child to encode and decode what is happening in the energetic field of that child that has everything to do with you in the here and now as we all ascend and transcend time and distance in this space of time, because I am truly anointed to do this. So here we are in this space and time where I'm going to first give you a metaphysical breakdown, and then I'm going to allow my seed to literally come forward, and she is going to give you an observation of what it is that she sees here before me. Okay, So if you want a breakdown for your child, if you want a reading for your child, it's very interesting because so many people will come to me for life matters and money matters and heartbreak matters. But many of you need healing. And that healing will not take place until you learn to balance life and home with your children, until you learn to balance your inner child. This is the sacred wisdom. So here you are, no matter how much you try to look in to see, when is he coming back? When is she coming back? Why don't they love me? What's going on? It's because you're failing to look within yourself and realize that your inner child needs healing. You have had scars that have been placed within you due to your mother or due to your father, that has been embedded within your mind, embedded within your spirit, that you are still to this present day walking around with that scar. I don't care if you're 60, 70 years old, you're still walking around with a scar that has happened to you before the age of 9 years old. So now you're in a space and stage in time where children are technically running the parents. Why? Because children are in this space and time where children are truly the new ambassadors of this planet. Why do you think so many people are trying to silence the children? Why do you think so many people are trying to drop their children off at a babysitter versus spend time with their children? Why do you think so many people tell the children to do as I do, not as I do, as I say, not as I do, because they're failing to understand that the children are doing what they see their parents do. So if your children are doing what they see you do, then you can't be embarrassed when you go out in public and your child starts cussing everybody out, or your child starts neglecting you or ignoring you when you're calling your child to you for your child to pay attention to you, because every single thing that you have done to that child behind closed doors is going to show, it's going to reflect on the outside when you're out in public. So now we're in a time right now where there is a mass shaking all over the planet. And I have given a prophetic word about this 6 months ago when I told everyone that there is going to come a wave over the land. And I'm not speaking anything negative here. This is just an awareness, as you all should be aware. What is happening is that the children of the parents who have neglected their callings, there have been so many people that have been called, but few are chosen. There are people that have been called to help with uplifting the vibration of the planet, with helping during these times, and they have chosen to chase after love. They have chosen to drug themselves. They have given up. They do not want to continue on in their calling. They do not want to step forward in any type of twin flame union. They do not want to do it. They don't want no part of it whatsoever. So these people have become martyrs to the sacred spiritual realms because they put themselves in those positions. But what they were failing to understand is that even if they didn't have children at the time that they have become a martyr to themselves, once they had children, that curse that is upon them trickles down through their bloodline, which is why you will see a whole lot of children in positions where they're even getting organ harvest, or they're getting child trafficked, or they're dying off. It's because of the karma of their specific parenting. Also, because of the karma of that child, many children have asked to come back here in the here and now to complete karma of what they have done to others in a past life as well. So why do we see such a plague of it going on right now? We see such a plague of it going on because the bloodline of the ones that have hurt, harmed, and injured so many people all over the planet is dying off. Why is that? Because truthfully, the gates of Hades are open. So if you've ever seen someone have to go through to quarantine an entire village, watch a movie of someone doing a quarantine, like Outbreak or something, where they have to go through and quarantine the entire village. What they do is they go in and they drop bombs on that whole entire village and they burn it with fire. Well, that is absolutely what is happening in the here and now in the spiritual realm with those of us who know, those of us who have eyes to see what's happening in the spiritual realm. This is why when everyone's crying out all over the land saying, help the children, what's going on? This is absolutely what's going on. It's a very spiritual, sacred time, everyone. So if you want to make sure that you're in a place right now where not only your children and your bloodline is preserved, you are to build a solid relationship with your ancestors, with your way showers, with your guides. and ask your guides and ask your angels to, first and foremost, to forgive you if you have stepped away from your calling, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, if you've neglected your children, or even you've neglected your inner child, and ask them to show you what it is that you are to do to help you walk through these times of sacred realms. So first and foremost, you have to make sure that you are centered. And what's more powerful than being centered is going through a massive space of rebirth. So here we are. I've already pre-pulled cards for the children. I'm going to let you know what's going on with them, where their energy is at. And I'm going to have my starseed step forward and step on into her calling, because she is far past me. And I'm going to have her give a message to you, whatever message that comes out of her spirit to give you. Okay. So here before me, I have the Sun card, rebirth. We are now in a phase, in a stage where children have stepped into their calling. They have stepped into their reason for being, why they're here on planet Earth, what they have been called to do. But yet, so many parents are missing it, because parents are thinking, oh, you're talking out of line. Because we come from a generation where a child should be seen and not heard. So now that the children are here because they're stepping into their own autonomy, as a matter of fact, they've always been born with their own autonomy. But now you're in a place where you try to suppress their call, you try to suppress their reason for being, you're trying to repress their voice, suppress their voice, and you're recognizing that you're not successful with it. You're not successful with it because they're here in the now to step into their own autonomy. And the more you try to suppress them, the more you actually hurt yourself. So we're in a time right now where you'll even realize that people have a lot of naysaying when it comes to children. If there's some type of meeting that's going on, everyone will say, get the children out of the room, don't let the children around, or bring no children. So many people are having different events where they're saying no children are allowed whatsoever. Pay attention to those specific meetings and know that if women and children have been banned from those specific grounds, please know that there is no fruit upon those grounds, which means that whatever those people are trying to do will not be successful whatsoever. Keep in mind that the children are the seeds in which have been planted on the field of the farmer. So if you find yourself in a meeting, especially a business meeting, especially a meeting of someone claiming that they're doing all kind of a children's events and they're having events for children, but if you do your research, you'll look back and you'll recognize that that company only had one event pertaining to children the whole entire year. What were they doing for the children the rest of the year? That's a red flag to you right there, that they're only after money. The true intention behind a child will show upon the credibility of that organization, of that company, in continuous actions of how they have put forth some type of growth to help children. You will look them up. If you see anyone whatsoever trying to collect money for children, look them up. Don't just take your children to an event just because they're saying that, you know, they've had some type of event, or they're having some type of event for that year. Because let me tell you what's going to happen if you do that. If you continue to support these specific type of companies, we have the Ace of Stones here. Your money's going to be affected by it, which means that you're planting on grounds that are not fertile. You're planting on grounds that are cursed. So if you plant your money into grounds that are not cursed, that's like a farmer trying to plant a seed that is not organic. And when he plants a seed that is not organic, what happens? You only see fruit grow up one time. And then once that fruit grows up one time, it's never ever able to grow again. And what you're also doing is you're tapping into energies that are cursed. And what are you doing? That means that you're agreeing to their curse, and you're agreeing to take that curse upon your life, on your household, on your being. So we are in the times right now where it's judgment. It's judgment all over the land concerning how the world has treated children, concerning how you have treated your own child. There was a time, I can understand if you did not know up until now. I'm not here to judge. I am here to give a download. Okay. There's times where I did not know. But what Spirit has shown me is that children, they don't belong to us. They're alone. So you do not own that child to try to dominate that child's thoughts, to try to dominate their feelings, to try to beat them into submission. How would you like if someone was older than you and they were standing over you and they were beating you into submission? How would you like it if you were abused? How would you like it if someone stands there and they yell at you and they cuss you out? Imagine how you would feel. Is it right? Does it make it right just because you think that you're older than that child, that you're more wiser than that child? Well, let me tell you something about that. You're not. Not only are you not, did you not know that your children are your ancestors returned? Which means technically that your children are absolutely older than you. And if they're absolutely older than you, that means that they're absolutely wiser than you. So you're in this place right now where children are not confused. The Seven of Bowls reversed. They're not confused. It's you that's confused. Now, the challenge here is, how are you going to fix all this? How are you going to fix this? Because now we're in a time right now to where the Eight of Arrows is here, which means that the children are going to communicate. They're trying to communicate to you what it is that they want, what it is that they love, what it is that their talents and their skills and their abilities are. But you're so busy and you're so tired when you get off from work, or you're so tired when your days are off that you're just like, you're like, just go away from me, Johnny or Stacy or whatever your child's name is, because you're saying, I want to rest. Can I just have a day off for myself? I just want to rest. But truth be told, how can you possibly rest knowing that your bloodline is in an ultimate downfall because of your lack of cosmic consciousness? It's time for you to see the light. It's time for you to be ambitious about your breakthrough, about your growth, because you should now have the attitude of radical change concerning your specific household. So you're in a space right now where it is time for you to know that we are in space suspended in time and distance where the children have literally stepped into their callings. I have been sharing this to a few of you, letting you know that the children have not only been neglected by you sending them off to the public school systems, but yet when your children come home from the public school system, do you debrief them? Do you know who their friends are? Do you know about their friends? Do you know about their teachers? What is their teacher like? Do you know why they're in trouble at school for crying or screaming or looking off into the sky, or some type of diagnosis that they have been given that you have not looked into, that you have studied for yourself? Are you just taking someone else's word over the diagnosis of your child because you can't diagnose your child because you haven't spent any time with your child to know your child? To know your child is to know thyself. So if you're in a place where you don't know thyself, that's why you've been receiving specific whoopings concerning your own life, concerning your own path, and those specific lessons have come through how you have treated and how you are treating your children. So now we're in a time where you are being forced to make sure that there is a balance give and take between you and that child. And if you still are not making sure that there's a balance give and take between you and that child, Six of Pipes, the children are so connected to nature. They're very connected to nature. It's just like if you pay attention to even an animal, and if you, as long as you love that animal and you nurture it and you give that animal affection and you rub that animal, when that animal sees you walk in the door, the animal is going to run towards you. Same thing with your child. But if you neglect your child and you mistreat them, when you walk in the door to that child's school, you'll notice that that child will ignore you and barely want to come up to you. They won't run and hug you like they used to when they were little itty bitty babies. That's because you broke them. You did that to them. So now you have to fix that. You have to take time out now and make a balanced way to try to figure out, how can I water my garden again? How can I cause this to grow again? Because so many of you, as I was stating earlier, will come to me and you will get a reading about love, but the ultimate love is the inner child. And in your case, if you have children, the ultimate love is your child. You will not step into union with There will be no relationship in your life whatsoever that will ever go right as long as you do not learn how to cultivate the importance of how you treat children, how you treat your child, and how you have treated your inner child. And if you truthfully want to know how a person is, watch how that child reacts or your children reacts to the spirit of that specific being that is before them. Okay? So now we're in a time right now where children have ultimately stepped into their callings. I'm about to let my little one come forward. She is a very bright, brilliant soul who I am so proud of. Come here, babe. And today, everyone, she is going to be releasing her own cartoon. And I want each and every one of you to pay attention to my baby. She's 8 years old. She is going to be releasing her own cartoon. She doesn't watch cartoons, she creates them. She understands the importance of visualization. So allow your children to be creative, and you stand behind your children and whatever their gifts are, whatever their talents are. And although you may be very busy, don't you find yourself so busy to the point to where you don't have time to take time out to honor, to acknowledge, to cultivate the lives of your little ones. Because truth be told, your children are a direct reflection of you. Your children are ultimately the miracle, the celebration, the sign that each and every one of you have cultivated in the here and now. We have emerged past yesterday. We are no longer living in the energies of yesterday. We are divinely guided in the here and now to manifest our focus and our intentions on what we have been truly called here to do. What are you called here to do? And who are you here to do it with? So I'm going to step back and let my little one give each and every one of you a message come out of her spirit. And I want you to keep your eyes open for her cartoon introduction that she's going to be introducing today on this channel. And pretty soon there will be merchandise from the characters in the stores all over the land from each cartoon character that is displayed today in her cartoon once we release it. So everyone, this is my daughter Jordan. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Speak up, baby.
Hello, everyone. I'm gonna give you a reading. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay. So you have the meditation card, the playfulness card, and you also have the signs card and the power card. Sorry there. Something about the meditation and the signs card. What I feel about those two cards is that your meditation comes to power. Because as you can see, if you look at these two cards, she's meditating and the power. And then there's also a power card right here. So many things have came into union. This signs card is to pay attention about something that you've been missing.
Pay attention to stare at the pictures and get the message.
You've been creating something that you have been creating, and sometimes you haven't been creating it. And that's about the signs card. About the playfulness card is what we also got. I feel like that your children is very down. Say if you would just say you'll play in the yard, and then they'd be alone playing in the yard, and you would not play with them in the yard. They are not playful. That's what I feel about that card. The power card is about your artificial intelligence that are inside of you, and your heart inside of you is made from that kind of spirit. That's what I feel about the power card. And yeah. Did I do playfulness, Mom?
Yes, did. Said they weren't playing with their children in the yard, remember? They have to spend more time to play with them. And the powers, they step into their calling.
Yeah, so you have to play with them more, and then they'll go up. Like she said in her reading, that she's going down, like how you walk into your school and your children doesn't run to you. That's how you need to get with them more. That's how you can make them feel better. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see what we have here. Alright, see what these two are. You have the Serenity card reversed, the Healing card reversed, the Guardian Angel card reversed, the Listening card, I think, reversed. Yeah, no, it's not reversed. Okay. The Trust card reversed, and the Balance card reversed. About what I feel about the Healing card is there's many things that mean about this reading. The Healing card, what I feel about this is your children can't do this anymore. Your children is basically hurt because you're not spending any time with them. What I feel about that is they need healing. So that's what I feel about this card. That's reversed. The Serenity card reversed is you're not being sincere to them. You're not being sincere to them. You are giving them something that they don't want. And that is your love to them. And you are spending your love to something else instead of spending your love on your children. Or it's on your inner self. That's what I feel about the Serenity card reversed. And the Listening card, just not reversed. They are blocking you from trying to talk to them. You see that his wing is blocking them? His wing that's blocking you. They are very upset about how you've been treating them. They have been listening when they was around, 3 years old. When they were like 0 years old and 1 years old, you would teach them how to walk, teach them how to talk, teach them how to eat, all that stuff. And then once they've grown up to the bigger size, say if it was like 13 or something, you would just go ahead and send them off somewhere to go do something. That is something that is bad to make your children to take it out, because your children, they need more time with you, is how they get used to come with you. Because if you notice that they would not be that used to be around you because you aren't being around them. That's why it's about that. So, yeah. Now the next card is Guardian Angel. Someone is sad. I see about this one. Someone is sad. And they gotta teach them about their angels. They have an angel guarding them. And there was an angel around them to make them feel better when they were crying. That's what I feel about this card. Did we already do? Yeah, we did the healing card. Alright. Did we do the truth card? No, we didn't. Alright, the trust card. I don't really think, I think that your children are trying to get with you more. But you're blocking them from getting it to you. You just want to be on your own. You see that there's only one person there. You need to let your children through that wall so they can have more time with you. And what I also think about this card is that you need to have them come with you more often. Okay, that's what I feel about these cards. Oh, did we do the balance? I don't think we did balance. Alright,
reversed, so they're not balanced.
Yeah, this card was reversed, so you're not really balanced. What this card is getting is that you are not ready. What it basically means is you are not ready. You are not balanced and you are not ready. So that's what I feel about this card. Let me check and double check before I see this. Yeah, I did all the cards. Alright. That was your reading, guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. I'm gonna use this cards that Jordan used. Pick up a couple more. Forgiveness, blessed, answered prayers, and of course the children's card. Trust. She said healing was reversed, trust was reversed, guardian angel was reversed, listening was right side up, serenity was reversed, and balance was reversed. So before we chime out and close this out, from what, just so you can be clear, I know Jordan talks soft too. Balance was reversed because you're not balanced within yourself. So you are teaching your children the ultimate examples of them walking through life not being balanced within themselves. Because children are not going to do as you say, they're going to do as they see you do. So it's time for you to focus on the things that will help you be balanced. Serenity, because you're not sincere, that's reversed. You're not sincere about the things that you're even doing with your children. So many of you will make promises to a child and you won't keep those promises, and what you're failing to understand is that that's the worst thing that you can do, is promise a child something and not follow through on your promise. You know how you feel when you have a mate or a boyfriend or a girlfriend and they promise you they're going to take you to a specific event, and you look up and that event passes and they're nowhere around. They didn't even invite you to it. You never forget that. Same thing with the child. A child will never forget a broken promise. They will take a broken promise into their 50s and 60-year-old years, when they'll remember the time that dad was supposed to come pick them up for ice cream when they were 3 years old, but he never showed up. Listening is right side up, because I really feel that half of you are listening, but you're not really listening. In other words, you hear them, but you don't hear them. And not only that, when they're talking, if you do allow them to talk, you're still listening going, oh, okay, but while they're talking, you still are not comprehending what they're saying, because if you listen to their really small, still silent voices, there are messages in their voices for you as well. You have guardian angel upside down because you are not teaching your children about their angels. You're not teaching your children how to build a relationship with the angels. It's time for you to teach your children that not only are they angels, but their invisible friends are truly angels. They're not crazy. A lot of you have eyes in your name. And when you were little, you had invisible friends that you played with, and you thought that you were tripping. You're not tripping. That's why so many of you with eyes in your name to this day, you say, whoa, I had my invisible friends, or I used to go off and play with these invisible G.I. Joe dolls. That is because those are your angels back then, teaching you how to build a relationship with them back then for these now date and times and hours. You have healing upside down because the world can only heal through the relationship and the bond of that parent's child in their home. So in other words, stop taking out on your child the things that you're upset with that child's mother or father about. The children are innocent, and truth be told, they're going to end up hating you for it. Just because your son looks like his father, don't be mad at that son and start mistreating that son because he reminds you of that father. Same thing with the daughter. Don't have the daughter come over to the house to spend time with you, and you're busy telling your daughter how jacked up and how messed up her mother is, because she's just going to regret you for it. And not only that, look at the damage that you're doing to your child. Don't you think that they're already hurt, versus you spending time to downplay their parents and talk about their parents and how rotten their parents are? Because that does not make you even more, that makes you even more rottener to downplay that child's other side of the parent, because truth be told, if it was not for the other energy of that parent, you wouldn't have that child in the first place. So you're distilling hate into that child. That's a way of you letting that child know, I regret you. If I could have had another mother with you, I regret you. But you should also keep in mind that children chose their parents. And if they chose their parents, you have no right to judge what type of parent the other parent is. That's why we all need healing right now. The entire world needs healing, because everyone is failing to understand that each and every one of us have talent, skills, gifts, and abilities, and your children have talent, skills, gifts, and abilities that you have yet to tap into, because so many of you are babying your children. Your children are 12 years old and you're still treating them like they're 2 years old. Your children are 13 years old, 15 years old, they're 10 years old, and you're still treating them like they're 3. If you brought your child at 12 years old, at 11 years old, around a 3-year-old, I bet you anything, a child that is spiritual, a child that is an indigo, crystal, and starseed will make that 12-year-old look very shameful by the way that you're babying that child. So even if you are the only parent of that child, what you're doing by babying that child that way is you're handicapping that child. You're hurting that child. And a lot of that damage and pain comes from how you were babied as a child. It's time to cut the cord now, because the umbilical cord was cut a long time ago when it fell off after the mother detached from the child long ago at birth. And it's time for you to raise your child in the way that they should go. And that is by tapping into their talents and not depriving them of their talents. You have trust here reversed because you don't trust yourself. So you feel like because you don't trust yourself, you can't trust sending your children down the street because they may get in some type of trouble, or because they're teenagers, you don't want them hanging out with specific friends. Yeah, you're not going to trust them hanging out with specific friends because you know deep down in your heart you have not raised them to stand in their own autonomy. You have not raised them to develop relationships with their ancestors and with their guides. So of course it's going to be very disheartening for you to send them down the street because you know that you have not done that inner work. That's the only thing that you're actually absolutely picking up is your own inner fear of lack of parenting. Okay, so the last 4 cards I have here is forgiveness. Forgive whatever happened to you as a child. Forgive dad for not picking you up for that ice cream. Forgive mom for not picking you up for that ice cream. Forgive mom for not taking you to prom. Forgive mom for not letting you talk to that boy on the phone. Forgive dad for not being there, and now you're looking for that father figure in a man. And when that man doesn't treat you like dad, then you're hurt and you're disappointed because you are looking for that man to treat you like dad, or you're looking for that instinct in a woman to treat you like your mother treated you. And because your mother was mean to you, now you're mean to all the women all over the planet because you're upset and angry with mom still. That has nothing to do with the one who you have truly come into this plane of existence to be with. The only way that you can truly, truly, truly learn to forgive someone else is by learning to forgive yourself. And how do you do that? You focus on your own self-mastery. And as you focus on your own self-mastery, the one who is for you will also be placed in that space of self-mastery. And you don't have to worry about, are they going to cheat on me? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to love me? Are they going to do me right? Because as long as you hit the nail on the head, hit the nail on the coffin, you will realize that you're your own medicine man. You're your own medicine woman. And as you stand in this knowing, you shall rain blessings of the abundance of this knowledge all over your mindset, all over your life, and you will know that your prayers are answered. Interesting. New love was hiding behind answered prayer, and I didn't see that. And that's what's happening right now. The entire world is stepping into a play of new love, but that new love is only going to be cultivated through that love of self. This is why the twin flame journey is so important, where everyone is laughing at why the divine feminine and divine masculine, how can they possibly be chasing after someone who does not care about them? What they are failing to understand and failing to see is the ultimate gift of the true twins is to show the world that by healing yourself through self-mastery, that other person is there as a mirror. That other person you have placed in them what you needed to grow, and they have placed in you what they needed to grow. And as you learn from them and they learn from you, both of you will realize that you are creating a whole entire new love, the way that the world was supposed to love in the first place. And all of your prayers will be answered, because you will realize that these two coming together, they're here to create the new earth. By what? By love of self, through cultivating their inner child. By love of self, by recognizing that no one's going to move at all. No one's going into any type of union whatsoever until you make things right with your children. Until you make things right with your inner child. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to close this out and just let each and every one of you know to keep an eye out for Jordan's cartoon that's coming out. Tell him the name of it, Joy. Come here. Let him know the name of your cartoon that's coming out that she created. She created the characters from scratch. She created the music by herself. You hear that? Listen for the music too. She created this music for her own cartoon from scratch. The characters from scratch. I'm gonna let you tell it, girl.
The movie is called.
Cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon. The cartoon is called. What it is? What was Welcome to Crystal City of Zion. Yeah, Welcome to Crystal City of Zion. So that's my. Not my channel name. And it is currently my channel name. But yeah, so that's the cartoon name. Stay tuned for it to be coming out, and then the link will be in the description when it comes out to my channel.
Yeah,
So
and
make sure to go subscribe there if you haven't.
Yeah, we had to copyright it first before she released it. Each cartoon character she created from scratch, and it's Crystal City of Zion, and each character is named after a crystal, and the character is the same color as a crystal. And when the dolls are released inside of the stores, they're also going to have a crystal that comes along with each doll, and it's really cool too because all of us are sitting here, like myself and our other daughter. And even my twin and my bestie, we were all sitting here with Jordan, and we were all making our own cartoon characters. It was really, really super fun. And it was even more fun because she was able to put my twin as one of the actual cartoon characters inside of the cartoon. And it was so funny how we were putting my twin together because we end up giving my twin rocket ships behind his back.
Yeah. Because he's always taking off.
Yeah, because he's always taking off. So it was so funny because we're like, okay, he's always on the astral plane. And it was so funny. So I can't wait to see this. I want to release it earlier, but the ancestors wouldn't let me until we were able to copyright Jordan's, all of her original material, as well as the music. Like I said, the music that she did, it does not sound like an 8-year-old did it. It sounds like someone professionally at Disney Studios or something like that did it. So we're very excited for Jordan. We're very happy for her. And, show it to your children and support your children and in their work and their talents. Sit with your children and see what type of talents they have. See what type of abilities. Why have they been called here? What did you miss from your children? Do you know their favorite color? Do you know what they like to do? And don't stand there beating your children over the head like, here's some ice cream. What do you do? What do you do? Once you see Jordan, never compare your child to another child. Just compare your child to the love of themselves and bring out their talent and bring out their ability and what they have been called here to do, because every single child is different. Every single child is unique. And I'm very excited. I look forward to it. So have a beautiful, magical day, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.